Welcome back. As we continue off with the conversations this morning, Namibia is taking significant steps to expand access to solar energy through new partnerships aimed at promoting sustainable and affordable power solutions. One such initiative involves a service level agreement between the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy and CENORED, which will strengthen cooperation in rolling out solar energy systems under the Solar Revolving Fund. To tell us more about what this agreement means and how Namibians can benefit, we now speak to Ishuna Niita Amakutsi, who is the Deputy Director of the Solar Revolving Fund under the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy. Ms. Amakutsi, a very good morning to you and thank you so much for making time to talk to us.
Good morning, the Panda. Thank you for having me. Good morning, listeners, or good morning, viewers.
All right. First things first. Now, for those of our viewers who may not be familiar, could you perhaps briefly just explain what the Solar Revolving Fund is and why it was created?
The Solar Revolving Fund is credit facility within the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy, and it provides financing to Namibian people, mostly in the off-grid areas or in the remote areas. And these are the people who would like to connect to electricity, either in the form of solar or grid electrification. So we provide financing, subsidized financing. This is a project of the government, and specifically for the Ministry of Mines and of Industries, Mines and Energy, to just assist Namibian people in terms of upfront costs when they would like to connect to the electricity.
All right. Kindly just tell us about the purpose of the service level agreement between the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy and CENORED, and also just the main objective overall.
Thank you, Ndapanda. The purpose of this service level agreement between the Ministry of Industries, Mines and Energy through the Solar Revolving Fund and the CENORED is basically just a collaboration between the two institutions. And the aim is, as I mentioned earlier, is to increase rural electrification or people who are living in the off-grid area, and basically just to expand electricity access in Namibia. So with this agreement, we will implement the mechanism which is called the Grid Connection Financing Mechanism. And this mechanism will assist households and businesses that cannot afford, upfront costs of connecting to grid electrification. So this mechanism will now oversee the ministry and CENORED assisting people to connect to grid electrification in the CENORED area. So the aim is just to make electricity accessible and affordable to people, especially those who are living within the CENORED jurisdiction.
Right. So since it will be a solar revolving fund, how will it work?
As I mentioned earlier, the Solar Revolving Fund provides loan financing or credit financing and subsidies. When we are mentioning subsidies, we are saying that the government is providing subsidized interest rate, which is only 5%. And this is given to all eligible applicants who are applying with the Solar Revolving Fund for financial assistance in order to connect to electricity, or to say grid electrification. And then CENORED now will come in as an implementing partner where they will provide technical support, or actually they will facilitate the grid connections. So they will connect customers in their areas to grid connections. And these are the customers now who are applying through the Solar Revolving Fund for financing. So what we are trying to say here is that the ministry, through the Solar Revolving Fund, will provide financing, subsidized financing, and then these customers will now have CENORED connecting their electricity, their grid electricity. And this is not solar that we are talking about here today. We are talking about grid electricity that the customers are applying for to be connected for.
All right. So, Ms. Amakutsi, who qualifies to access support from the Solar Revolving Fund, and how can people apply?
All the Namibians are actually they qualify to apply for this financing. However, today the SLA that we are signing between CENORED and the fund, and then CENORED will provide only quotations to people under their area who will apply to the fund. Maybe if I give a little bit background, we are signing this SLA with mostly all the REDs. So far, we signed with NORED in 2023, and then today we are signing with CENORED. So at this point, once we sign the SLA, we are assisting only those customers under those REDs that we have signed the SLAs with. But we are going to all REDs to sign SLAs so that we can assist all the clients under those REDs so that we can be able to assist them get connected to grid electrification. But on the other hand, the Solar Revolving Fund also provides financing for solar, but those we have different service provider for solar. However, when we are signing SLAs, we are signing with the REDs so that customers can get assisted with grid connection, which we call conventional electricity.
All right. But how affordable are the solar systems offered through the fund? And also, what is the repayment options that are available right now?
Okay, that's a good question. For the solar system, we finance solar home systems up to 60,000. That's basically quite enough sufficient amount to connect the households in rural areas to electricity. 60,000 for solar home systems, 60,000 for solar water pumps. That's the maximum loan that you can give, and 35,000. That's Namibian dollars for solar water heaters. However, for grid connections that we are actually connecting customers through the RED, those ones we are giving up to 150,000 Namibian dollars for connecting to the grid. However, that will depend also on the affordability of the customer. So we assess the customer, they submit the application form with all their required documents such as payslip, bank statement, 6 months bank statement, IDs, and we assess the application form. We see their affordability. However, mostly what the clients need to know is that when they look at their basic salary, they multiply it with 3, which is basic salary times 3, and that will determine how much loan they can afford. Just to put it in context, if the customer is probably having a basic salary of 20,000, then you multiply that with 3. That will determine that customer will qualify for a system of 60,000. Right. So we have really assisted a lot of customers in terms of solar financing and also grid financing with NORED, which we signed in 2023. We have assisted a lot of customers, and we are looking forward to assist more customers in this regard.
Right. Is this entire initiative only targeting the rural communities or perhaps the urban households? Are they also included in this?
Yeah, that's we are assisting mostly. The aim is to assist mostly customers in rural areas who would like to connect to electricity. But however, we're also assisting peri-urban households. These are probably households in the informal settlements who are actually having proof of ownership of land, and also areas in the outskirts of towns. Those are peri-urban areas. And then, but our main aim is to assist people living in the remote areas because we would like to increase access to electricity, especially in rural areas.
Right. So the signing of the agreement is expected to take place today. Kindly just give us more details on that.
Okay, thank you. We are signing the service level agreement today, which is Monday, the 9th of March. And we are signing it. The event is starting, or the ceremony is starting at 9:30 this morning. And it's going to be held, or the venue is Ochazonjupa Regional Council Chambers, and we are in Oshivarango to sign this service level agreement.
Right. Looking ahead, Ms. Amakutsi, what are some of the long-term plans for expanding the Solar Revolving Fund and also just solar access in Namibia?
Please come again with that question.
Yes. What are some of the long-term plans for expanding the Solar Revolving Fund and also just solar access in Namibia?
Okay. The long term, or probably what we would like to see in future, we expect to see increased number of households and businesses connected to electricity. And this is our aim, which is for the aim of the government of Namibia, is to improve access to energy services in rural areas. And this is just to improve opportunities and also economic activities in rural areas, and by improving access to electricity, and also to improve the living standards of people in those areas. And also, when we are talking about businesses, we also want to improve the productive use, which is basically just saying these businesses get energy, they run it on their businesses, and then they connect their productive equipment. They can create jobs, and also they can get income at the same time.
All right. Lastly, perhaps before we let you go, what message would you like to share with the Namibian nation this morning who are considering switching to solar energy?
Okay, thank you. With my last words, I would like to say that thank you very much for this opportunity and to share this initiative with the listeners. However, increasing access to electricity, it remains the key priority of the government of Namibia. And also now with this partnership which is now between the Ministry of Industries and CENORED through the Solar Revolving Fund, it's actually a crucial initiative which will oversee achieving the goals of the government. And we hopefully that it will provide positive impacts to the communities in the off-grid areas, and also contribute to the national development of the country.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Amakutsi, thank you so much for joining us, and all the best with the signing of the agreement this morning.
Okay, thank you, Ndapanda, for having me.
All right.